Joe the Shirt is off the cuff. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I, the one and only Joe the Shirt, am back on your computer airwaves. Yes, I'm back. Before I get into anything today, just wanted to let you guys know the reason I was gone for so long. I've been off the air for like 6 months now. Nothing wrong happened. Okay, I wasn't sick. I wasn't in rehab. I wasn't in jail. None of those things happened. There was no tragedies in my life. To be perfectly honest with you guys, I was actually a little bored. To be perfectly, I was feeling a little bored, you know, and it's something that happened with me when I was doing my stand-up act, which is, you know, you do it for so long, for so long, again and again and again, and after a while, you're not even feeling it, you know. I'm not enjoying it. It's like, it becomes like, I think the best way I can describe it is something that I heard once from another comic was, you feel like you're doing an impression of yourself, you know. So it doesn't feel genuine in any way. So that's why I just, you know, there were days that I thought about doing a show, and then I was just like, fuck it. I just didn't feel like it, you know. And I know that's not professional in any way, shape, or form. But to be honest, though, let's remember, I don't get paid to do this. So a lack of professionalism is kind of, you know, neither here nor there, all right? But I am here. Hopefully I'll be doing more shows. This will be the first of many, many, many more to come, because I've gotten the bug back, you know, and I'm feeling it now. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Now, before I get into my first topic of the day, let me preface this by letting you all know I am not a Donald Trump supporter. I did not vote for the man. I voted for the other man, you know, Hillary. I do not support Trump. I do not send him any money. I do not give him any endorsements. I do not advertise for him. Okay, he's not my guy. I didn't vote for him, but I'm going to try to present this in as fair and honest a way as I can. Okay, because Donald Trump has been president for 6 months. That's 6 months today. Okay, today is the 6-month anniversary of Donald Trump's presidency, as we've all seen, has been up and down and up and down and up and down. And it's one of those. It's a day that a lot of radio hosts will often give the president a letter grade. Their opinion of how they think the president is doing. And excuse me. And I'm going to give my letter grade right now. For the first 6 months of Donald Trump's presidency, that's 180 days, I give the Don a B minus. Okay? Now don't go off and grab the pitchforks and the torches and come storm my house just yet. Okay? Like I said, I'm going to try to be fair here. I'm going to try to be honest with you guys. I don't want to bullshit you guys. All right? Like I said, I didn't vote for the man. I'm not a Trumper, all right? But I'm not an anti-Trumper either. It's like, anyway, you know what? Let's just get into it. Why don't we get into it? I say I gave him a B minus, and there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Donald Trump, all right? Of course, the biggest issue that he's been having is, of course, the whole healthcare issue. Now, didn't I tell you guys way back when that there was no way in the world that Donald Trump was just going to be ripping away your health care and everybody was going to be fucked, and it didn't happen, okay? It didn't happen, just like I said it wouldn't happen. And and by the way, but what I am surprised by is that he has not done anything with health care. And more importantly, the Republican Party has not done anything with health care. Now, I know a couple of you guys out there are Republicans, quite a few of you did vote for the Don, and that's great. It's your prerogative. You're an American citizen. You can vote for whoever you want. That being said, though, the ticket that he ran on The thing that the Republicans have been bitching and moaning about the most for all these years has been health care, most specifically Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, right? And they were just saying, we're going to repeal it, we're going to repeal it, we're going to repeal it. And then they were like, okay, we're going to repeal it and replace it. We're going to repeal it and replace it. And then there was like, okay, we're going to repeal it and repair it. Sort of, we're going to repeal it and repair it. And what was happening is that the Don and his cronies kept coming up with their own healthcare initiatives, but none which involved completely repealing Obamacare, right? And then what happened, it would be that a few of his Republicans, now we all knew the Democrats were not going to vote for anything that the Don came out with. And the Republicans are controlling both houses, the Congress and the Senate, right? So you think, hey, whatever they come up with, it just gets passed through. No, because some diehard Republicans wanted a full repeal first. They just a repeal first, repeal Obamacare completely, get it out of there, and then we'll develop something over time. All right. And that was an idea that they wanted. But what happens is when you do that, when you vote against the Don, against his repeal and replace or his repeal and repair, what happens is the Republicans got nothing done. I mean, they really, literally got nothing done. For all the bluster, for all the bullshit that they've been spewing for all these years about how bad Obamacare is and this and that, they would rather Obamacare stay in place, crash and burn, implode, fuck everybody over, rather than just do a little bit here and then work on it later. And then, there are some Republicans that want it complete sweeping change. No more Obamacare, completely gone, then we'll develop something. Now, mind you, even if you repeal Obamacare completely, that's going to be a 2-year phasing out period. It's not like they repeal it today, boom, tomorrow you don't have insurance. That's not the way it's going to work. Okay, trust me, I told you this before. You're not just going to get screwed over overnight. All right? So then what's happening is, rather than going for a few yards, some Republicans are insisting on going for the touchdown. They wanted to go all the way over, repeal Obamacare and then develop a new CARE Act. All right, you know what? That didn't work. It's gone to almost a vote 3 times now, and 3 times they didn't put it to a vote because they realized they didn't have the votes. So, hey, you know what? On that one, healthcare, big fail. As far as the wall is concerned, this mythical wall that Donald Trump wants to put up, mind you, there already are barriers in place. Not necessarily walls. There are fences. There are natural barriers like rivers and lakes and all that. And if the Don wants to build a wall, great, go ahead. I know a lot of you are thinking, well, Joe, that's racist. You're blocking out an entire people, and you're Latino yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Latino. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm not Mexican. I'm not related to any Mexicans as far as I know. I mean, I might be for all I know. But you know what? Let's not act as if the Don is coming up with something new and different, because Mexico themselves, they have walls bordering 2 countries to the south of them. So let's not act like, Mexico is like, they're like, without any guilt here. They're without fault. They don't have any blood on their hands. They do, all right? And we wouldn't be the only country in the world that erects a border wall between ourselves and our neighbors who, we have issues with, okay? I know it sounds racist. You can hate me as much as you want, but those are the facts that are playing right now. Mexico has walls against its neighbors. We have walls we want to put walls up against our neighbors. Israel has walls against its neighbors, and several European countries and several Arab countries, Asian countries, they have walls up against their neighbors too because they have issues with them. You want to talk about South and North Korea for a little bit? Jesus, come on now. Grow up, people. Okay. What's really funny, by the way, I want to go back a little bit to healthcare. While it is like roughly about 4 Republicans that are holdouts that refuse to vote for any of the Don's healthcare plans, the Don continues to blame Democrats. Every time the vote fails, he goes on his Twitter feed, he goes on TV, he goes on Fox News or whatever, and just talks about how it's the Democrats, the Democrats' fault. I'm like, really? 4 of your guys didn't vote for you, but you want to blame the Democrats? Okay, yeah, let's go with that. All right. Let's see, what else? Well, we want to talk a little bit about the lifting of restrictions when it comes to how energy is collected and transferred. The pipeline, for instance, is one of those things that is a really big deal for a lot of people, the Dakota Pipeline, which will be spreading across the country, some parts as far as Maine, I think, and yeah, it's gonna change the way the scenery looks. Absolutely, it's gonna change the way animals live, how certain indigenous people might be living. Yeah, true enough. But at the same time, we're all bitching and moaning about how we want cheaper gas. How we want cheaper energy bills, how we don't want to pay as much for electricity. Well, you know what? Guess what? You can't do that unless you start building these type of pipelines, because you want cheaper gas. Well, then you want a pipeline. Don't bitch about the price of gas and then bitch about the infrastructure that's needed to get that cheaper gas. Okay, pulling out of the Paris Accords. That's another thing that Don did. He decided, you know what? All your restrictions on how energy is made and collected, and this and that, and emissions, and screw you. That's what they came up with. Screw you. We are a beautifully hypocritical race. We truly are, because here we are living in one of the most industrialized nations, if not the most industrialized nation in the world. And then we go around telling poor countries in Africa, hey, don't develop this oil. Don't develop this coal. Don't develop... What hypocrites we are. Let's see what else we got here. Of course, the Don, of course, in his first couple of months, just pretty much hired and fired everyone. It was like watching The Apprentice, wasn't it? I mean, you turn on the news and it's like Donald Trump is firing the Secretary of Defense. Donald Trump is firing the FBI director. Donald Trump is firing this guy, that guy. It was just ridiculous. So that one a big fail as well. He can't seem to keep a cabinet together. Oh my God! And of course, there's the tweeting, which has got to stop. I'm sorry, the tweeting has got to stop. He's such a child when it comes to that. It's like he'll be good for a while. He's like a kid right before Christmas. He's good. He does his job. He pushes his agenda. He gets things done. And then it's like the day after Christmas, he's, lighting the tree on fire. He just starts tweeting all this stupid shit, which is completely unnecessary. And of course, it's not really surprising, that he's being investigated right now. There's a special, special prosecutor right now, a special investigator, special counsel, something like that. That's Mueller? Yeah, Mueller. He's investigating stuff, investigating the voter fraud thing, which I don't think while I believe that there was voter fraud, that there always is in any election, not just this one. Let's not make believe it's just this one. There's always voter fraud, but not to the point where it would make a difference in the overall outcome. With that in mind, we are going to take a break. I'm Joe the Shirt, and I'll be right back. Joe the Shirt is off the cuff. Welcome back once again to Joe the Shirt's Off the Cuff. I am your host, Joe the Shirt. And before we continue with the Don, our President Donald Trump, it's still funny to me to say that out loud. President Donald Trump. It's like a joke, you know? It really almost is. We have celebrity birthdays. Some parts of the show we could just never leave. If your birthday is today, July 20th, you share a birthday with supermodel Giselle, who is 37 years old. Let's see. Sandra Oh, actress from Grey's Anatomy, is 46 years old. Superstar NBA player Ray Allen is 42. The one and only Carlos Santana is 70. Actor Omar Epps is 44 years old. Actor Josh Holloway, you may remember him from Lost, is 48. John Francis Daly, you may remember him as Mitch from the movie Waiting and from the TV show Bones. He plays the psychiatrist Sweets. And the one and only funny lady, Judy Greer, is... Oh, I forgot to write down her age. My bad. Anyway, you'll know her best from her voice work on Archer and several other sitcoms and funny movies that she's been in. In any case, talking about Donald Trump and his B- rating that I gave him, I think probably the one of the biggest points of contention when it comes to Donald Trump is his trying to impose a travel ban on people from certain countries. Those countries, of course, being 6 countries: Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. Now, a lot of people have been referring to this as the anti-Muslim travel ban. No. I'm going to say this. No, it's not an anti-Muslim ban. The Muslims in these countries account for less than 15% of all the Muslims in the world. Muslims from all those other countries are still welcome in the United States. But from these particular countries, he's put a travel ban, a temporary travel ban. He wanted 90 days, 3 months, okay, to just be able to find a better way to vet who's coming in and out of the country, why, and whether or not they are potentially dangerous terrorists to us. You know, it's the president's job to protect the United States and its interests. And if that requires a travel ban, he is well within his legal rights to do so. Now, before a lot of you guys go off on a tizzy talking about how racist this is, well, you know, Muslim is not a race, for starters, just to let you know. Muslim is a religion, okay? There are Muslims all over the world. There are Muslims right here. There are Mexican Muslims right here in Los Angeles, just to let you know. There are Chinese Muslims right here in Los Angeles, just to let you know, okay? So Muslim is not a race, okay? And mind you, there are Muslims in China. There are Muslims in Sweden who are actually Swedish-born. You know, not just all those immigrants that they've been taking in. All right? Now, and again, before you go off on a big tizzy here, Barack Obama placed similar travel bans on all 6 of these countries during his presidency as well. Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. Look, you can deny it as much as you want, but he did. Okay? And when he did it for the same reason that the Don is, to restrict potentially dangerous people from coming from those countries into our country and possibly blowing us to heaven. Okay? I don't know about you, but I don't believe in heaven, and so I don't believe that I've got 72 virgins waiting for me. All right? So, no. So, what are you guys complaining about? I'm sorry, but the people that are so bizarrely opposed to these travel bans are not opposed to the travel bans as much as they are just opposed to Donald Trump. They want to give the Don a hard time. And I get that. When you're part of the opposition party, it's something that you want to do. I get it. You want to make the other side look bad. But you know what? You're a hypocrite. And that's fine, because we're all a pack of hypocrites. We do. This is what we do. I remember when Barack Obama was president, I had a buddy of mine, my buddy Keon. He goes, Joe, have you ever seen a president that has been so maligned by the press and the media and the Republicans and the opposition party? And I'm like, now I'm thinking, yeah, every president that's ever existed. Are you shitting me? This is nothing new. This is nothing new, people. Everybody keeps acting as if it's Donald Trump's president. It's the end of days, And let me see. Okay, yeah. You know what? It is end of days. The rivers are running red with blood. There are toads falling from the sky. Locusts are eating all the crops. And no, actually, it's about 80 degrees and sunny outside right now. I might go by the pool. Might go out by the pool later. So stop it. You're being ridiculous. You really are. And by the way, has all abortion disappeared? Is it all gone? Is it no? You can't get an abortion anywhere now. Is that right? Oh no, wait. Yes, you can. Actually, yes, you still can. Most of the places that were providing abortions are still in existence. Okay. Now, did Donald Trump's has his current presidency, did they eliminate certain types of funding towards Planned Parenthood? Yeah, they did. But you know what? When it comes to the whole deal about providing money for abortions only accounted for about 2% about what Planned Parenthood does. So I don't think, on that one I agree with you. I don't think the Don needed to cut any funding towards Planned Parenthood. What for? I mean, they accounted for 2% of what they did. So on that one, big fail. Let's see what else we got here when it comes to the Don. Oh yeah. Also let's go again through the once again. Let's talk about the Donald's anti-Semitism. Right. The Don, whose granddaughter is an Orthodox Jew. Yeah. Yeah. I tell you, that's the worst anti-Semite ever, right there. Let his kid marry an Orthodox Jew, and they're raising their grandchild as an Orthodox Jew. My God, what's next? The gas chambers and ovens? Oh my God, people, stop. The world has not come to an end. Like I said, I am not a Donald supporter. There's a lot of things that he's done that I don't agree with. There's some things that he's done that I do agree with. And there's some things that he's planning on that, I hope go through, and other things that he's planning on that I hope don't go through. But the same thing for me can be said about Barack Obama. The same thing can be said for me about Bill Clinton, George Bush, Ronald Reagan. Even though I was just a kid when Ronald Reagan was elected, it's like, I was like, shit, they're going to cut welfare. We're fucked. But there you go. That is where President Donald Joseph Trump is at 6 months. Like I said, I gave him a B-. It would have been a C+, but I do believe in some of the things that he is trying to do. I do believe in the travel ban. I do believe in building a wall between us and Mexico. I do believe in developing this pipeline, because the price of gas, which is something we all want to bitch about, but nobody wants to take it on the chin and say, okay, let's build this pipeline. Okay, let's do this fracking. And I know a lot of people talk about fracking and all the damage it's done to all these people's homes. You know what? For the most part, no, it really hasn't damaged that many people's homes. And I feel bad for the people that it has. And I certainly would hope that those companies that are in charge of them would do something to help. but it's not on the scale that, people make it think it is. People make it think like, 95% of all homes that are affected by fracking are destroyed, and no, that's not what happened. Okay, that's not what happened. And here in California, I'm all for laying off on these restrictions when it comes to emissions and gas, and I'm all for it, because come November, I'm looking at an increase in a 12-cent increase in the gas tax. Come November, Californians are going to be paying 12 cents an extra per gallon just to fill up their car. Okay, I mean that adds up. People think, well, 12 cents isn't all that much. I'm like, yeah, it is when you have to fill up your car 2 or 3 times a week, like I do. So there you go. Oh my God. Oh yeah, one last thing, actually on Trump, and then we'll move on. Something else, maybe something a little more fun or something different at the very least. Let's see. Sanctuary cities and states. I'm not for that either. I'm sorry. I don't like the idea that cities around the country, and California is trying to become the first state to do so, but cities around the country telling the federal government that, if we find illegal aliens in our city, we're not going to turn them over. We're not going to turn them over to the federal government. We're not going to deport them. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to let them go. If so, I mean, basically what they're saying is like, some guy, commits a crime and he's an illegal alien. I don't care. Let's not even mention Mexico. Let's say a Canadian, all right? Some Canadian dude commits some crime. We can't deport him. Why not? Get rid of him. He's here illegally. Fuck him. Let him go. I'm sorry. I don't like this idea, and also I don't like the fact that the federal government has us over a barrel when it comes to being a city or a state that declares themselves a sanctuary city or state, because then that means that we don't get federal funding to, say, fix roads, help fix rail systems. We get screwed. We get screwed. And what does that mean when we get screwed? When we don't get federal funding? It means our state taxes will go up. We end up paying more to harbor illegal immigrant criminals. Now, I'm not saying that all illegal immigrants are criminals. Okay, I've known quite a few illegal immigrants, perfectly nice, God-fearing people, and that's great. But why can't we at least agree that if an illegal immigrant commits a crime, we can send them back? Why can't we at least agree on that? Why can't we send back criminals at the very least? Why do we have to protect them as well? I'm sorry, but political correctness all around the world has gotten out of hand. Well, I was listening to a story in Sweden where this woman was gang raped by a pack of Somalian refugees. Swedish woman, gang raped. When she told her friends about what happened, her friends tried to convince her to not report it to the police because it would be culturally insensitive, because apparently gang rape is perfectly acceptable to Somalian Muslims. What? Oh, it gets even better. A Swedish politician of some sort, a man, was raped by a Sudanese man. A Sudanese Muslim raped a man, okay? And then when it came to trial, the guy he raped spoke on his behalf because he didn't want himself to be responsible for sending this man back to the Sudan, which is basically a war zone. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's a little too politically correct. Anyway, it's time for a break. All right, let's play some interlude music here. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff, and I'll be right back. Chinchilla shirt is off the cuff. Welcome back, everybody. All right, we're done talking about the Don. We're done with that. Let's talk about some more stuff, some fun stuff, some entertainment news, maybe some news of what's going on around the world and whatnot. Among them, in case you didn't hear about it, O.J. Simpson got parole. That's right, today. All right. People were glued to their computer screens. They were glued to their TVs. They were glued to their radios. They were just glued to their. They were just glued. All right, to anything that was going on. O.J. was charming. He was funny. He was sympathetic. He was a model prisoner. He served 8 years out of his 9 to 33-year sentence. And come October, I think as early as October 1st, O.J. will be out on the streets. O.J. will be out there. O.J. will be a free man. You know, I mean, yeah, he's on parole. He's not completely free. You know, he's got to, abide by his parole conditions. But, he's 70 years old and he'll be out there. So, good for O.J. I know a lot of people are bitching and moaning, but he's a murderer. He's a murderer. He's a murderer. I'm like, yeah, maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. I believe he is, personally. But that had nothing to do with this particular case. This case was based in Nevada. It was for kidnapping and burglary. He served a certain amount of time, which is actually more time than usual for this particular type of crime in Nevada. Usually, the average prisoner serves about 1/10 of their sentence before they get parole. All right? He served 8 years. So he served basically 9/10 of his minimum sentence. So, it's really not a surprise if just based on this one case, put aside the murders, it is normal for him to get parole. So you want to bitch and moan about the murders, go on. It doesn't make a difference. And if you're thinking, well, it should, when it's you in there, when you're the one that's being considered for parole, believe me, you will not want them to consider what you did in the past. All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about Chester Bennington. If you're unfamiliar with Chester Bennington, he is the lead singer for the rock band Linkin Park. He's dead. He's dead as of today at the age of 41. He hung himself in the very same fashion as lead singer of Soundgarden did back in May, Chris Cornell. What I found quite the interesting coinkydink is that Bennington hung himself today. Tomorrow is Chris Cornell's birthday, or at least it would have been his birthday. I know you're thinking, Joe, it's not right for you to be laughing at suicide. I'm like, yeah, it is. I'm okay with it. Let's see, what else have we got going on? Okay, get this now. There are a few groups out there, a few health groups, a few Nazi health groups who are, hate smokers, hate smoking, hate cigarettes. That's great. You're allowed to do that. I don't think you should take away other people's rights to smoke if they want to. Well, they've come up with a new idea to help prevent smoking in young people. They're talking about teenagers, people 21 and under in a lot of states these days. Which is, by the way, that's the new smoking age in California. You have to be 21 years old or older to smoke, to be able to buy a pack of cigarettes here in California, which I think is stupid because you're an adult at 18. But that's the same argument I made about alcohol. But you know what? That's neither here nor there. But yeah, they have a new plan now, and the plan is that if you make a movie and any of the characters in the movie are smoking, boom, that's an automatic R rating. And you're thinking, well, what the hell does that do? Well, what that does is that prevents kids that are under 17 years of age from going to see that movie, allegedly. I don't know about you, but I used to see R-rated movies all the fucking time when I was like 12, all right? And I know that kids do it to this day, all right? So let's not act like that's doing anything, all right? Just another one, just more PC Nazism is what that is. And you want to talk about some PC Nazism? I got a good one for you. Hold on now. Let's see, where's that story? I love this story. Where did I put it? Okay, here we go. There is an Indonesian monkey known as Naruto. Now, and there is a photographer known as David Slater. David Slater is a photographer, and he was taking pictures, and he was taking pictures of this monkey, Naruto. Now, Naruto, being the festive, scamperous little monkey that he is, grabbed David's camera and pointed it at himself and took a selfie. The monkey took a selfie. All right, and I've got the picture here. Maybe I can see if I can post it later. But it's a really good selfie. I got to tell you, it's a better selfie than most human beings take. I'm telling you right now. It's squared off. It's looking directly at the camera. The monkey is smiling. It's a really good picture. So the photographer David Slater was highly entertained by this, and he published a book and included this picture of the monkey Naruto in the book. Now, David Slater, the photographer, is being sued by the monkey. Yes, you heard me right. Naruto the monkey is suing David Slater. Now, officially speaking, the case is being brought by PETA. That's right, PETA, the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, also known as stupid people. I used to think that PETA were good people. Honestly, I really did. But they're actually really quite stupid and have nothing better to do with their time. All right, when they compare orcas and dolphins to human slavery, that's stupid. When they compare the eating of chickens on a mass scale to the Holocaust of the Jews during World War II, that's stupid. Both are stupid and offensive. Okay, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm on top of the food chain, and I'm gonna fucking enjoy it. All right. Now, here's what they're doing. PETA, on behalf of Naruto, are suing David for copyright infringement because David didn't take that picture. The monkey did. And then David used the monkey's image in his book, and now PETA is suing them for copyright infringement. Now, the reason they're doing this is, mind you, it's not like the monkey had a copyright. Okay, he didn't have a copyright. It's not like he went to the copyright office and registered or anything. All right, but what PETA is doing is by suing for copyright infringement. What they're doing is trying to assign human rights, legal rights, to a non-human. Okay, that once again they're trying to circumvent how we think of things. Orcas and dolphins are slaves, and chickens were part of the Holocaust. And now monkeys, have legal rights, copyright infringement. And I'm like, no, that's stupid. I'm sorry, PETA's really, these people are bored. They need to get laid. I mean, honestly, they really, really do. Oh, my God. Some fun news for all you gun nuts out there. Apparently, Canada has reported that one of its troops killed an Islamic State militant. Now, get this, is a new world record for sniper shooting, okay? This guy shot and killed an Islamic militant from 2 miles away. I mean, I want you to conceive of that. I mean, you look outside, 2 miles away is a speck. And I'm like, yeah, I know this guy was using high-powered scopes, and maybe he had his spotter with him to help him out, with the wind, the velocity, and the trajectory and all that. But still, hitting somebody with a rifle from 2 miles away, bravo. That is impressive. I don't care who you are. That's impressive. And finally, one of the things I want to talk about is diversity in casting. Actually, you know what? I don't want to talk about that because we don't have a lot of time left, and it's something that I really, really wanted to get into. I'll do that on the next show. I promise you. Diversity in casting for movies and television. It's something near and dear to my heart, and I just thought it was really funny and ridiculous. So instead, I'll just end with just a little bit, about you and me. I'm like I said, the reason I was gone, no reason. I was just bored. I'm sure you guys have experienced that with your job, or maybe even your own hobbies, or I don't know, your kids, where you just get sick and tired and don't want to deal with it anymore. Yeah, that's how I got when it came to doing this. I didn't want to do if it was starting to feel like more of an obligation than something fun that I do. And if it, and as far as I'm concerned, if it's going to be an obligation, I'd rather get paid for it. So, I do this for fun. I do this to vent the demons in my head, and I don't want to be on the air with you guys and feel as if I'm just slogging through it just to put on 45 minutes of me blathering along. I mean, yes, I blather along for 45 minutes. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm doing. But at least today I'm doing it and I'm enjoying it, okay? I'm having a good time with it. I find myself laughing. I find myself smiling. And I find myself glad to be talking to you guys again. And I'm also really hoping that this is going out to all you guys, because it's been 6 months since I've done this. And, who knows where the system is right now and how it's working and yada, 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 Joe. That's the way it goes. Today's music was brought to you by All the Right Moves and Admiron. Go figure, In any case, that is my time for today. I thank you for listening. Thank you for coming back. I will, I will make the best effort I can to do this more often with you guys. I mean, I've got a ton of stories and a ton of opinions. Most of them are probably wrong, but I'm going to share them with you anyway. In any case, I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff. Talk to you later.